No audio? I guess if I go to my picture here, you can't hear my audio. I don't know. I want my audio back. Let me try it. And away we go. We still got 2 minutes before the show. We're in the pre-show show. So if I do that, I want to show you a picture. And that, and oh, I guess I can't. That's interesting. Let me see. Well, I'll show it to you in a minute. How's everybody doing? A little bit of oh, I can't even do that without my music stopping. How about that? Okay. I'll get all that to you in a second. All right. Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live. This is number 136, and today I'm talking about mixed singing voice defined. We're going to define mixed singing, and I think this is going to be very exciting. So, what is mixed singing voice? What is mixed singing voice? We're going to define that today, and I want you to tell me right now in the comments section below, do you know the definition of mixed singing voice, yes or no? This is going to help you whether you have a good understanding of that definition or whether it's still a little nebulous to you, a little confusing. We're going to clarify that today. Just for fun, just to get started here, I want to show you a couple pictures here. I'm in a show, and we're in our first, just beginning our second week now, and so this is my cast and I were singing. Let me get that blown up again. I'm Getting Married in the Morning. So it's one of the famous songs from My Fair Lady. And I have the privilege of playing Alfred P. Doolittle. And so if I advance that, let me see here. Backwards, there I am being kicked in the air. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. And I just wanted to share that with you today. And so there it is. Now, if I can get back to the screen here, we'll be in business. Okay, so let's see here. Here we go. So I am Chuck Gilmore, and thanks for joining me today. I put up my little sign here so you know who I am. And all right, so I started out not knowing anything about mixed singing voice. I didn't know anything about head voice. I knew what falsetto was because that's the only way I could sing higher. And I attended a workshop with Seth Riggs in it. This is like back in 1996, fall of 96. What's that? Almost, 23 years ago this coming fall. And so it kind of changed everything for me. I'm really kind of fuzzy here, you guys. That's my character that I'm playing in the show. Alfred P. Doolittle. He's a functioning alcoholic that gets to sing some fun songs. Anyway, so we're going to discuss today. I'm going to give you definitions. I'm going to give you the definition of mixed singing voice. And so that you can use this as a tutorial. You'll be able to refer back to this when you have questions. And then I'll also take questions. So today, if I don't answer all your questions in my presentation today, you guys, then I'll have you ask me. Let me just say hi quickly to a bunch of you who are here. Emmanuel, it's like he was lined up number one and says he's excited about this tutorial today. Ryan, nice to have you with us today. The Music Girl, okay, I needed this. David Rika, me too, can't wait. Joe, hi Joe, nice to have you here. David, nice to have you. The Music Girl, great to have you. Ivan, hello. Valero, great to have you here. Valero and I have been talking back and forth this week. Joe, it's singing without a break in your voice. Okay, very good, Joe. Sahil, nice to have you here today. And Zering Kelsang, nice to have you here. I'm learning something at 1:43 a.m. That is true dedication to singing. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to make it worth your time. Ivan, nice to have you here today. Mix is vocal cord coordination between chest, voice, and falsetto. Okay, we'll clarify some of that. Barton, hey, Bart, nice to have you here today. Thank you very much. So Bart says, happy the channel is going so good. I'm going to be probably hitting 58,000 today. Thanks, Bart. And he said, I grew up with you as my singing and performing role model. Thanks, Bart. Nice to have you join us today. Farhad, hi, nice to have you here today. Glenn Podolski from Poland, awesome. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Mark, nice to have you here today. Victor, the brothers from Indonesia. Man, we are a worldwide organization here, aren't we? David says, how cool that you personally contact us. You're my favorite. Thanks, David. I appreciate that very much. It's 3 a.m. in Indonesia. Wow. Okay. So I think mixed voice singing is sometimes a mystery to us, and it's because we don't really know what it feels like, what it sounds like, and so this today is going to help you. So you can consider this a tutorial, and you'll be able to use it forever. So first of all, let me just address why mixed singing. Why is that even an issue? Here's why it's an issue. All my life I sang, and then after my voice changed, I was in choirs all during high school, madrigals, and I was only able to sing to the E above middle C. And that was if I was lucky. I know there were times that I actually would start to go flat before I got to the E above middle C. And if it was an F, I wouldn't sing it. I would break in the falsetto. So I could go into, that's the F sharp falsetto. I'm just doing it in the key of G. Falsetto there. That's the only way I could do the F or the F sharp. And if I yelled it would just be awful. That was not singing. That was my feeling. It wasn't singing. I just had to yell. And so why mixed singing is so that you're enabled to sing past this artificial ceiling in your voice. For girls, so you can sing past the break up into your head voice up there. You have a lot of notes above that area in your voice. For us guys, we've got a few there. Most of ours is down in our chest voice. So that mixed singing expands our range, it enables us to sing. And let's face it, how many songs are there today that are right there in that spot where you are yelling or you have to break or you feel that tension? So that's why. It's because you can increase your range. You can sing every song you want to sing. You can get up into your head voice without going into falsetto. You can sing through these areas without cracking or breaking, without straining or reaching. That's what's so powerful about mix. And so that's why I want to talk about this and why it's been so life-changing for me. Okay. So, here's what I'm gonna answer these questions so you know today. What is mixed singing voice? When are you not in mix? When are you in mix? And where does it happen in your voice? What prevents mixed voice from what prevents us from being able to mix? What prevents an ideal mix? Because there are mixes that aren't ideal. How do you get your voice to sing with a mixed voice? So how do you actually get it going? And exercises to begin training your mixed voice. And what singers you could listen to hear some mixed singing. So, all right, let's jump into this. Hi, Jay Camaneo. Camaneo. Nice to have you from Hawaii. Awesome. Taiwan. Chest voice and head voice are something we have. Mixed voice is something we do. Chest voice and head voice are something we have. Mixed voice is something we do. Interesting. Hey, I like that. That's an interesting way to look at it. Miguel from Spain, nice to have you here. Daki from San Antonio. Awesome. Nice to have you with us today. Tudaku. One question is Brady. I'll get back to you on later on that because I've got a great big list of questions that you're waiting for me to answer. Okay. Almost everything that has to do with these exercises that we're talking about, I'm going to be talking. There's questions here. I'll be mentioning briefly. The Brady Nay. I'll be talking about bubble lips and being flat and straining. We're going to talk about that. Hey, Ryan, nice to have you with us today. Okay, so maybe we can get to your question. All right, number one, what is mixed singing voice? Very simply, I like kind of what was said here, that we take something that we have, and that's chest voice, and not everybody has head voice. I didn't. Until I was 43, 44 years old, I didn't have head voice. So we take chest voice, we take that bottom voice down low, and we take another voice. It's interesting because in my case, I couldn't get head voice until I was able to begin mixing. But let's put it simple. Head voice and chest voice blended together is your mixed voice. It's a blend of chest and head voice at the same time. So you're using it at the same time. Okay? That's a really simple, basic way to think about it. It sounds like, so I'll start it in an upper chest. That's my mix. Now I'm down in my chest voice. And the top note was pretty much just head voice. That's my head voice up there. So it's a blend of the head voice and the chest voice going together simultaneously, using it at the same time. Now, I'll get to what it isn't in a second. So, when are you not in mixed voice? When do you not have a blend of chest and head voice? All right. So the one way we know that it's pretty easy to think about, you're not in a mixed voice if you go into falsetto. Can you tell there's not a mix there? You can tell there's something missing. We don't have to go into much detail, but the tone has been disconnected. And so now the tone is disconnected. I'm not even really in head voice. I'm in a false voice, which is called falsetto. If I'm singing in just pure chest voice, you hear any head voice in that? Some might argue there is head voice in it. I was at the F sharp, which I should be beginning. I should have begun to mix around the E. We'll talk about where the bridges are in a minute. But I just pulled the bottom up. So we're not in a mix if we're just pulling chest voice. We're also not in a mix if I'm just jamming it into the bottom. If I'm just forcing myself down into the bottom of my voice, you're pretty hard pressed to find anything that's mixing with that sound. So that's just forcing down into my chest voice. There's no upper, there's no vertical in that. There's no vibration. There's no vertical vibration occurring there. So I am not in a mixed voice in that situation. So I would define that as singing just pure chest. Now, where does mixed singing voice happen? Let's talk about, first of all, happening in the bridge of your voice, or the passaggio, the passage. And the bridge or passaggio is the transition from your chest voice to your head voice. And there are specific notes where these bridges happen, and they're the same for all of us. In the true bass voice, that is the ones who come down here and down into this number and note down into the D and the C sharp and the C. I'm kind of growling there, but the true bass voice begins to bridge, and I'm just going to touch on these briefly. I'm not going to dwell on them. The basso profundo, the basso cantata, the bass voice bridges at the A, B flat, B, and C, middle C, and C sharp. You're pretty much through it there. So A below middle C, B flat, B, C, D. That's the true bass. Now the baritone and tenor, and girls, I'll tell you, get yours in a second, ladies. Baritones and tenors, E above middle C, F, F sharp, G, you're all the way through. That's the tenor, baritone tenor first bridge, the basso second bridge. Ladies, the contralto, the deep out, the very, very deep voice, and I'm talking about getting down here not just at F or G below middle C, but C. C below middle C. You ladies who can sing down here, even lower, here's the B flat. I had a lesson with a student this morning. She's a contralto. Her voice is down here, and she does her exercises from down here and up. Her first bridge is the same first bridge that the tenors have and the baritones. It's the E, F, F sharp above middle C. That's where the contralto voice begins to want to mix. So the bridge or the passaggio is where our bodies, our voices, everything that's going on, it wants to begin to mix. It wants to begin to blend the chest and the head voice in this transition zone called the bridge or called the passaggio. Now, for you sopranos and many of you altos, certainly the mezzos, sopranos, the mezzos, and many altos, they bridge. An alto is not necessarily a contralto. There's a lot of depth and heft in the contralto voice, and a lot of altos can get down to just barely like the E below middle C, but I wouldn't say that you would bridge where the contraltos do. You would bridge here. So majority of women are going to bridge at the A above middle C. the A4 it's called. B flat, B, C, C sharp, you're pretty much all the way through it. That's your first bridge. This is where we really feel it as singers, where our voices want to begin to blend. They want to be, and we feel that there. A lot of times you say, well, that's my break area. It's what happens if we can't get the mix going, the blend of chest and head in that bridge. So that's where the bridges, officially these bridges are located. We'll talk about mix being everywhere in a minute. So where does mix singing happen? It happens in the bridges, and we covered the men and the women. Now, whenever you're singing with a connected, so there's another school of thought, and I'm kind of persuaded that this is the case, that there is a mix or there can be, or should be, a mix of element of chest and head throughout your range. Now, it's when you get to a certain height in your voice, admittedly, there's very little overtone from the chest or the head voice, depending on if you're low or high. I'll talk about another element of that in a second. But we could assume, and I believe this is true, that mix can occur throughout your range, chest up into head. There's an element of a mix in that, and I'll explain that right now. So if you have a connected tone, listen to when I say connected, in other words, not falsetto. So I never disconnected that tone. And so we could consider that in these areas above, up into what would be termed just head voice, there's still some connection to my chest, because I never disconnected the tone, you see, and it blends easily back into the bottom. And then here what happens if I keep some of this vertical resonance, some of this vertical vibration going as I go lower. So, there's a difference between and There's just some element of this vertical, and maybe it's just overtone or something like that. But I think in these conditions, you could consider that would be all a part of my mix. But for simplicity, especially if you're first starting out, don't worry too much about that. The beginning of that, where you really develop your ability to feel and begin to experience and develop that mix, is in the bridges. And then you can expand it from there. The bridges. All right, question number 4. What prevents mixed singing voice? I think I talked about that briefly. If I'm pulling chest voice up, there's not a mix in there. If I keep going, now I'm in falsetto, there's not a mix there, I'm disconnected. It's just a false voice. There's not even really head voice. Head voice, by definition, is connected tone. So I have to have that connection in order to mix it with my chest, or to have that connection to the bottom. But if I disconnect the tone, I can't be in mix. And so that's the simple way of looking at it. And listen, it's possible to there's never really a place where you have just to break into falsetto. You can begin to relax and let up on things, just like I did on that high G, that G5. I really was trying not to. I was really letting go of the tone, but I didn't break into falsetto. All right, so Number 4B, question 4B. What prevents ideal mix? Well, let's just say so I'm in a mix, but I'm saying, there's a degree of, if I begin to spread the vowel and the larynx begins to come up and chest voice starts to be pulled up, at what point does it mix stop? There's probably some element of mix there, even though I have a high larynx and I'm wide. So that's not ideal, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about teaching people how to pull chest with a wide vowel. I'm talking about helping you learn how to do a mix that's ideal, that's quality, that's powerful and beautiful and serviceable. Yeah, I just blew my voice out, pulling my chest voice up to demonstrate. See if I can get it back here. Okay. Also, I don't think it's ideal mix. You really have to have the vibrato in your mix. Rather than the straight tone. That sounds like Tarzan, right? So you want to always be able to have the vibrato at your command. And so the ideal is to be able to do your mix and the vibrato in the bridges. So I don't think the mix is quite ideal if it's only a straight tone. You've got to be able to do that vibrato, and in my opinion, use it whenever you're singing, at least in many instances in the song. It depends on the genre that you're using. If you're in an opera or if you're classical, then it's going to be most of the time. If you're in other genres, then it's going to be frequently on sustained notes and so forth, but not maybe in every instance. Here's the other element of ideal mix. You want to have ideal chord closure or appropriate chord closure. So, for example, if I said, so I'm in a mix. It doesn't sound too good. The chord structure isn't appropriately adducting. Your vocal cords are allowing too much air to escape. And I talked about that in, I believe it was just last week's video on my Friday tips, technique tips. And that is that I have to get the vocal cords to come together appropriately firm so that I'm not losing a lot of air when I sing. I don't talk that way, so I don't want to really sing like that, right? So the ideal mix has appropriate balance of air and vocal cord. How do you get your voice to sing with a mixed voice? How do you get it? If you understand that it's a blend of chest and head, how do you get it to start to mix in the bridge? And the first thing that I'm going to say is we have to learn how to bridge. That is, in other words, singing in the bridge or in the passaggio. It's the same thing. Without pulling the chest voice up, without cracking or breaking, without reaching, squeezing, without tension, without breaking into falsetto, with appropriately adducted chords, so it's not breathing and light and airy, so that it can't be heard anyway. So, how do you get your voice to sing with a mixed voice? And I'm going to give you direction that everyone can follow, and I'm going to break it into several different categories. You've got to find out what you tend to do when you go through the bridge. So, if I were a tenor or baritone and I said, What am I doing? Can you guess? Tell me in the description below. Tell me what I'm doing. What is that? How am I getting through the bridge? What is my voice doing when I go through the bridge? All right? Write it down in the description. Here's another way that some people, the only way they can get through the bridge. What did I do? Can you tell? Write it down and put it in the comments. Right, I see the answers coming in. You're exactly right. What did I do then? What did I do in the bridge? That's right, Joe. You guys are right. What about the second one? Anybody? Can you hear what I tend to do in this demonstration? There are people who tend to do this in the bridge. Yep. Emmanuel got it. You guys are right. All right. Here's another way that we can get through the bridge that many people do. So what would that be? I'm not able to hear the audio for some odd reason. Sorry, Annette. Doggone it. You might want to refresh your browser. Of course, you can't hear me say that. Breathiness, right. It's the vocal folds, the vocal cords not coming together appropriately. So you need to know what you tend to do when you sing in that area. If I'm going to teach you live, the first thing I do is evaluate how you get through the bridge, because now I know what exercises to give you to help you. Because the purpose of the vocal type, in other words, you need to find out, number one, are you pulled chest, high larynx? Is that what you tend to do when you go through the bridge? That's mine, by the way. Are you flip falsetto? Do you tend to flip into falsetto when you go through the bridge? Do you tend to go breathy or light? Maybe you sing that way all the time. And that certainly eliminates the bridge. Sometimes my singers can't even feel the bridge. They're singing so lightly. But the problem is you can't hear them sing, so they don't have any power or strength in their voice. And they want power and strength. So you need to find out what you tend to do when you go to the bridge, and that's your vocal type. So to make this, because here's the reason why. There are specific exercises to help you not do those things, to do it correctly, to not pull chest, to not have the larynx go up, to not flip into falsetto, to not sing in falsetto, to not crack or break, to not go breathy and light. And so I've prepared, there's a vocal test you can take, and so to save you time, and I'm putting it in a card. It'll be in the, it'll probably be like, let me think about this a second here. Probably be up in this corner, I don't know, up in one of these corners. Probably this corner up here, there'll be a little card, and it's get your vocal type. So it's just a PDF. Download the PDF. It'll take you to the vocal test. It'll take you to, once you know you'll get a response in email, or you can send it to me, and you'll get a list then. In the PDF, there are links to videos about your vocal type, and there are links to the exercises that you download. Why? It's easier for me because all of you have different things. All of you have different vocal types. I would say that probably the majority are pull chest, high larynx, but I know there are those of you who have a light chest, no chest. There's those of you who tend to just crack and break into falsetto or flip into falsetto. And there's some singers who actually are in falsetto the whole time. And so you want to take this vocal test, find out your vocal type, and then download the watch the videos about your vocal type, and then download the exercises. Why? Because these exercises, and I'll share with some of them with you right now. I'm going to give you exercises that will begin training you to get into your mixed voice. In other words, to help encourage this blend of chest and head. So how do you encourage? How do you encourage mixing? How do you encourage mixing? By eliminating the crack or the flip or the break, or eliminating the pulled up high larynx. If you could keep the larynx down, guess what happens? You start to be able to sing through that bridge area, the passaggio, without the larynx coming up, or without cracking and breaking, or without reaching. See, I didn't know that was possible. It's possible. You're not at the top of your voice. Ladies, you don't have to go into falsetto. You can blend the chest and head there. It's such a concept. It's just so crazy that nobody knows this. You guys know it. You're learning this. There are millions, probably billions of people who don't know this, and there are millions who want to know it, but they don't know it's even a possibility. I didn't know it was a possibility. I did not know it was a possibility. So here are some exercises to begin to feel this mix. And this is the first one I heard, first one I did. You say, you put your fingers here, you lift up on your cheeks a little bit, or you can make a frown. Put your fingers in the frown and lift up, and you're saying, and then you add the bubble. Well, I was going to do an easier one, but this is the first one I did. Do you hear what happened? I didn't crack. It didn't do. It didn't crack inside that bubble there. It stayed connected from chest. Whenever I have a beard, it slows down my bubbles. So the knuckles help a lot. So I could get way up there, and it wasn't ever disconnected into falsetto. I remember the first time I did it. I knew immediately something had happened different. I had just gone up into a place I'd never felt before, with a connection, with the tone connected. I've been up there in falsetto, whee! But I had never done that with a continuous vocal line, and not have it break, not have it do some strain or something. It went right up into my head voice. I didn't even know it was head voice. It was just there. I could feel it and come back, and then it came back down. That was an incredibly unique experience. That introduced a whole new. Well, the first question I had. Well, I certainly couldn't sing with. So what? But it's the first thing. You've got to begin to inform your nervous system that there's something else you can do. So here's some exercises, guys. I'm going to give you 5. No, I'm going to give you 4. The bubble, I'm going to give you the first one, and here's 3 options for the first one. Ladies, that 1.5, you could do it here. That'll take you through your first bridge. So let's just take middle C. And the guys, this starts you kind of high, but ladies, you could start here. you don't want to let it crack or break. You want to maintain that tone inside that bubble. Ladies, this is yours. So that's the C sharp. So I just went through that, be my third bridge, and that's the soprano's, mezzo soprano's first bridge. If you can get through that with that bubble lip, now sometimes people have trouble doing bubbles, and another great way to do it, same thing, same principle, tongue trill. And so forth. That works tremendously. And if you can't do a tongue trill or a bubble lip, do it on a goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. So that's the top of the bridge. So I'm mixing through there. It's light. It's a lighter mix. That's okay. You're just getting started if you're just now learning this. But you've got to start somewhere. So when you're going through there, it's a blend of chest and head. Goo, 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 goo. Now, notice that I'm not saying goo, 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 and not cracking. I'm not breaking. I'm maintaining that same tone. Goo, 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 goo. Now, a lot of guys will say, well, that's falsetto. Goo. No, it's head voice. How do I know? If I said, goo, I can still crack, you see? Goo, goo. Did you hear that crack in the falsetto? If that's not false, you know, it can't be falsetto because I can crack into falsetto. It's a connected tone. Goo, that's falsetto. Goo, that's head voice. Goo. But us guys, we think, oh, it's head voice because it vibrates the same place as falsetto. All right, that's exercise number 1, that group. Exercise number 2, a way to get through the bridge without the tone disconnecting, to get through the bridge without pulling up the chest voice or the larynx going up so high that it cuts off the sound, or you know it just has to squeeze so tight you can't do anything, or without being really breathy. Here's a really great exercise to do. Start it out. I'm going to start it kind of where the guys are at the top, really low for the girls. Nay, 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 nay. Just a little bit on the funny side, a little bit towards a witchy sound. Nay, 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 nay. But it's a connected tone. I didn't say nay, nay, no. I'm not breaking there. I'm not pulling up the chest. Nay, 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 nay. What is it? It's a mix. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Now, that's a very powerful way to start to bridge. In other words, to have a blend of your chest and your head voice through those bridge areas of your voice. That's not finished tone, is it? you don't sing with that kind of a tone. But what we have to do first is we have to be able to connect through there. We have to be able to mix through that. And that's just the beginning. That's the start of your mixed voice. The other way to do it is the opposite, a little bit of a low larynx exercise. So you want to say gi, 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 gi. And you want to be a little bit like Deputy Dog, kind of dumb. But notice my larynx here. Gi, gi. When I say gi, I've got kind of a duh sound, and it pulls the larynx down. Gi, gi. You can do it the same way. Someone said, I feel like I'm doing it with a yawn. Yawn and do it. Oh, hey, you really pull the larynx down. So it's like a gi with a yawn. Gi, 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 gi. Gi, 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 gi. Gi, 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 gi. Now you want to start it in chest. You've got to start it in chest and end it in chest. And so you could practice going through the bridge with some chest, and then if you keep that dopey sound, it's going to allow that head voice to start coming in. If you say gee, 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 you're just going to pull the larynx up, and that's not what you're going for. You want the larynx to stay down. Gee, 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 and the tone staying connected. Gee, gee, gee. I promise you, though, if you keep that larynx down, you're not going to disconnect. If it disconnects, it's because the larynx popped up. All right, so that's exercise number 4. The other thing is, once you get this down, here's a demonstration of the mix. No, 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 no. Listen to that no. No, 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 no. Now here's what it isn't. Here's what it isn't. No, 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 no. I'm not pulling the chest voice up. I'm keeping it in the same place the nu was, but I'm doing a more open vowel in the closed place where the nu, the more closed vowel was. Nu is more closed than O. So I'm singing the O in the more closed place that the nu was. So nu, 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 no, 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 no. Nu, 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 no, 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 no. Now if I said no, 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 I wouldn't be mixing there. That's just pulling the chest voice up. Or if I'd said no, no, and broken the falsetto, that's not mix. So I keep the same coordination. No, 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 no. That no is the feeling of the mix voice. No, no, no. This is the guy's range and the contraltos. No, 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 no. Now, notice what happens now. I'm not in my bridge. I'm going below the bridge. I'm going down in the chest. But listen to me maintain a vertical resonance. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Sorry, reflex. No, 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 no. Now, notice what happens if I lose the vertical. No, 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 no. Well, that's the D. It's below the bridge. So I've kind of lost the vertical, but I think I also lost the mix too. So I was mixing even down below the bridge. And so that's the concept of mixing that occurs outside the bridges also, that the vertical resonance, the vertical vibration is still going. All right, it's 10 minutes till. What singers could you listen to? Natalie Cole, Stevie Wonder, Bernadette Peters, Michael Jackson, Barbra Streisand, Amy Lee, Evanescence. Josh Groban, I'm told, especially his first two albums, Michael Bolton, even Ozzy Osbourne. I've heard him mix. Maybe not everywhere, but and none of these. I don't think anyone's ever perfect. Maybe unless it's Barbra Streisand. I think she's pretty amazing. But you can listen to these singers and their albums and find really a lot of examples of mix. All right, I'm going to blast through a couple of these things here and see if I can answer a few questions, you guys. Thanks. That ends the official demonstration or definition of mix. It's going to get you, really advance you along the knowledge path. And now it's just a matter of starting to do it in your own voice. So that's why I say download the PDF, get your vocal type, and get the exercises for your vocal type that eliminate the problems so that you can begin to mix through your bridges. Okay? All right. So thank you. Thank you for joining me all over the world. Let me see if I can't get to a couple of these questions here. David Rica says, I think it's cool how you personally contact us. Thank you, David. I try and do what I can. And so thanks you guys for being up at 3 a.m. all over the world. It's just really, really gratifying, and I hope this has been helpful to you. Let me answer these questions. Ivan says, I don't know if I'm a bass or baritone at 16. You know, Ivan, it probably doesn't matter too much. The bass and baritone, if you can get down really, really low, a baritone mainly would probably only be around the low G. Anything below that would be towards the bass. So yeah, he says C G2 and F4 flat. I would say it probably is going to be you're straining at F4 because you're not bridging yet. So the G2, and look, you're 16. It's hard. It's hard to do it. Tudakau says, one question, doesn't the bratty nay sound pull the larynx up? Yes, it does pull it up a little bit. It's a high larynx exercise, but it's not so high as pulled up, full pulled up chest, right? So it's not nearly as bad. Don't do it loud. Don't do it hard. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Don't do it aggressive and hard, and you'll keep the larynx from going up too high. With ghee and bubble lips, I just break into falsetto. So take your low breath. So low breath is tummy out, air in. So that's where you take your breath. And then you pull your tummy in as you're doing it. If you continue to break, you want to bend over. And be bent down is at the highest point. When you're at the highest point of the notes, you should be bent down 90 degrees and looking at the floor. It's amazing how that helps. Because breaking the falsetto, of course, as you already know, doesn't help you. So take your low breath, pull your tummy in. With the ghee, it's because you're losing the dopey sound. Ghee, 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 ghee. The larynx starts to come up. It's got to stay down. Ghee, 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 ghee. So it goes hooty on the top. Ghee, 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 ghee. As opposed to ghee, 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 ghee. That's what causes it to strain and what causes it to crack. Ryan says, my question of the day is, let's say today's session we found our mixed voice. Do you have any tips on how we can strengthen our muscles so that we can have a smooth transition? Yes, do those exercises for your vocal type, and they will definitely make a difference. It's like 15 minutes of exercises for you. I have the same confusion at 15. So your voices are just developing, and probably at 15 you're getting close to where your range is going to be. But give yourself a little time. Darko, nice to have you here today. So you guys who are younger, be patient. If you can get down to the G and no lower, but you know, at your age, give it a couple more years and you're probably going to find it's going to be a little bit different. Darko says, how you know if singing to nasal resonance and how if it's bad nasality. So if I sing, if I'm singing, so I'm pinching my nose. It's not changing the tone. Now, if it was nasally, and I was saying, you can hear it's changing the tone quality of the tone when I pinch my nose. That's when you know you're in the nasal. There's some nasality in it. It's a little bit of, and that's usually because the larynx is coming up. The larynx coming up will close off part of the palate and push the sound up into your nasopharynx instead of out the mouth. So you want to make sure you're doing these dopey exercises, and that will help you a lot. And doing the exercises for your vocal type will help a lot. Luis, hi, nice to have you here. Can I sort of rebuild my voice, releasing tension as a first step going into falsetto? Yes, it will release your tension, no question about it. You won't develop a mix, and you won't develop your head voice, but it does release the tension when you go into falsetto. But you can't develop any of your voice other than falsetto. Tani Devereaux, hi Tani, nice to have you here today. How do I open up my mixed voice and stop sounding like an alto cat? How do I open up my mixed voice? Tani, I don't know how long you've been working at it. It just depends. You know, it can be a week, it could be a year, it could be 10 years. Pavarotti, who was one of the great tenors of planet Earth, said it took him 10 years to get an F the way he really wanted it. And so if it takes him 10 years to get the F to be brilliant and wonderful and amazing, it'd probably take you a couple years. Jay Camanso says, does yodeling use the passaggio? Yeah, a lot of times either in the passaggio or above, and maybe just a little bit below, is where people go into the falsetto. Oh, I can do it down there too. But I get a little bit better up there in my bridge. So you don't have to do it in the passaggio. This is a low D. So I'm just going into falsetto, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the passaggio. But I can't really go into true falsetto down below not very far below my passaggio. So anywhere close to the passaggio and up, it's easier to go into falsetto. So in that condition, in that situation, it's helpful to know where your bridge is. How do you know if you're straining or yelling when singing? If you feel like you're straining, or if you feel like you're yelling, you are. Two chooks. Oh, you guys are talking? Great. Tani's talking. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Yeah, so you guys really were spot on with the answers to your questions. Breaking into falsetto, right. I was breaking into falsetto on that. I was pulling up the chest voice. I was going breathy on the other one. So one would be full chest high larynx vocal type. One would be flip falsetto vocal type. One would be light chest, no chest vocal type. And there may be some of you who actually are able to mix through the bridge. Not very many of my students who first take this test do that, but I have had some. So thank you for answering those questions, because that shows you were engaged and you were listening. No chord closure, Tyvon said. Yep. losing the connection completely. Yeah. Nice comments, you guys. Take it easy, Mr. Gilmore. Don't want any damage. You got some water. Yeah, qualified homeopath. So thanks, Hussein. I appreciate that. Reflux is caused, well, there's when pH of the stomach isn't low enough. And yeah. So thanks for those for your help on the some good information here on the acid. Tyvon says, let me see, did I miss somebody? William Gordon, I know this is unrelated, but to know what you're talking about, but was wondering if you have any tricks for when you need to sneak a breath that it's not that's not the surprised face technique. Yeah. So William, I just let my tummy drop, just relax it, and I've got a breath. So I can do this, and it pretty well covers. And a lot of times you have to. You know, if you got a really long line of singing, that's the best way to sneak a breath is let that tummy drop, and it creates a vacuum and it pulls air in, and that's the easiest way to do it. So you're not going. You just let the tummy drop, and now I'm reloaded again, and I can just keep on going. And if you were just watching my face, you wouldn't really know that I was, actually filling up my lungs in that little pause. So that's the best way to sneak it, I think. Tyvon, where'd it go? Tyvon, where'd you go there? Oh, my favorite lip trill. I would do this exercise all day long at work. It helped me find my head voice with good connection. Hey, thanks for that. Yeah, I think it's amazing. And if you're driving, you can't do it like this. So a tongue trill really works nicely there. Emmanuel says, do we need to slide on exercise nay? No, you don't have to slide. You can say nay, 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 nay. That's probably better technique, Emmanuel. He's pointing out my flaws here. Yeah, it's probably best, actually, not to slide. Titus says, you offer private Skype lessons. Yes, it's in on my home channel. I think it's on the right-hand side. There's some information there, or in the description below is a link to my to schedule a lesson with me, and I would love to do that. I've already taught today in Virginia and Minnesota, and I live in Utah, so do a lot of teaching on Skype, and all over the country, and all over the world. What would you consider a deep voice? Notice that I don't have a clear E now. I did earlier today. That's reflex. I'd say the E is pretty deep. If you can get to the F, that's pretty deep. But E, E flat, D, anything E below, I think is pretty deep. But then there's the heft. There's a heftiness about it too. Are you just getting barely to it? So there's some heft and some weight to it that comes into play. All right, now Jomavrit 64. Here to improve my singing. I hope this has been helpful to you, and thanks for joining us today. Joe says, awesome demonstration with an eye opener. Chuck. Good. Thanks, Joe. Miguel says, how can I get rid of my second bridge? Can I get rid of it? The key to the second bridge, you guys, is always the first bridge. If the first bridge is underperforming, and I've gone over time, but I want to get, you guys have been so great about these questions. If the second bridge is a problem, go back and look at the first bridge. That's where the source of the problem is. That means you're waiting too long to get into your mix, and as a result, that's affecting your second. So that's the secret. The secret to the second bridge is the first bridge. Get it perfect, Get the first bridge down perfect, and your second bridge will come in easily, much more easily than you're experiencing now. And I don't think you mean get rid of it, but you mean be able to sing through it and not feel it. And that's the key is the first bridge. You're probably a really good singer, so you're pulling chest to the first bridge, and it catches you on the second one. You can't pull, you can't reach in the first bridge and have your second work. Yes, Miguel, you're exactly right. I didn't see that next comment. Maybe I carry too much weight as I go higher. You are exactly right. That's right. Thiago says, Thiago, how do I sing like Don Henley? I don't know. I don't know how you sing like him. I would have to listen to Don Henley, and I'd have to listen to you. But you know, I don't train people how to sing like certain people. I train you to sing like you, and to sing your very best. I don't think it's a good idea to chase other people's sound. I would help you be your very best, and then you take it from there. Glenn, thank you so much, Chuck, for this. Very helpful for me in finding my mix. Cheers from Toronto. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for joining me today. Sorry this has gone on so long, but you guys have given me such great comments here. Emmanuel says, thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. So happy we have you as a teacher. Thanks, Emmanuel. I appreciate that. Maisie Tan can mix while doing exercises, but when singing songs, chest voice tend to pull up. Any tips on practicing keeping the mix while singing songs? Oh, Maisie, you've just opened up a whole nother category. Maisie, go to powertosing.com and click on vowel. Search in the menu. In the menu, there's a search icon. Search for vowel modification. Vowel, V-O-W-E-L. V-O-W-E-L. Is that double L? Vowel modification. You've got to narrow some vowels to help you stay in the mix. There's a couple videos about that, and there's a PDF you can download it's called I think it's a PDF hacks or a vowel modification hacks, and that will help you stay in your mix when you're singing songs. That's another day, another big topic, Maisie. You might want to check through just a couple videos ago. I think we did one on that. LeQuack, hey, nice to have you here. And Maisie, nice to have you here. I don't recognize your name, and thanks for joining us today. LeQuack, the muscles under my chin tighten up very badly. Sometimes the larynx is getting high whenever I'm above the E4. What is the problem? And what should I do to fix it? I am a lyric tenor, but I'm not able to hit notes above E4 comfortably. F sharp 4 is okay, but G4 and above are impossible. LeQuack is the larynx is coming up. And so those exercises, and I've done these. I think there's some exercises. Well, are you doing exercises for pulled chest, high larynx? I would recommend those as soon as you can get to them, because they'll help keep the larynx down, and that's going to enable you to get higher without reaching and squeezing. Yeah, this whole thing today, I would say you want to go get get your vocal type for sure, and get the exercises and start working on those. Ivan says try eating lettuce, a few leaves to neutralize stomach acid. So it's the only thing I've found so far that's helped. Good, thanks, Ivan. Tyvon says check out Tone Stith. Has a really good mix. I don't mind that being shown. That's fine. Okay, Joe Marvrit 64. I have a question. I'm a guy, and my lowest note is D3 with too much effort. But for me, is really to hit high notes. But when it comes to the whistle register, it really sound weak. Would you have any exercises for the whistle register? Jamarvrit, I'm not sure what you mean by whistle register. I don't teach people to do the whistle, but if you mean by whistle the upper head voice, then yeah, the exercises for your vocal type are going to help you get into your head voice and way up into head voice. Now, if you're talking about, yeah, I don't teach that, but there are people online that do. I just haven't found a way to use it in a song. And thank you for helping us. By the way, I hope, even though I don't teach whistle, what is deep voice in mixed voice? What is a deep voice in mixed voice? Deep voice in mixed. Well, if you're talking about range, that's a deep voice. If you're talking about getting deep into the vocal folds, if these are the vocal folds, this would be not getting deep. This would just be the outer edges. Oh, nay, 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 mom, 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 mom. It's getting deeper into the chord structure. Mom, 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 mom. It's getting down into the vocal cords in your mix. Kevin, hi Kevin, nice to have you here today. I'm 15. Can I sing and mix when I'm so young? Yes, Kevin, but you're going to have to learn to get through that break now that you've got in your voice. And so go take the vocal test for sure that I've mentioned already. And there should be a card information here in the upper corner of my video. It's getting so late here, guys. I'm almost to the bottom of these questions, but I don't want to leave anything out because you've been such a great group today from all over the world. So Kevin, take your vocal test. I'm going to guess you're probably going to need to take, you're going to find out that you're pulled chest, high larynx, and start working on that. But be patient. It's really hard for us guys at your age up to, your voice is going to be changing still. It's going to be different from day to day, but you can start the mix. So do the exercise, do the vocal test, and I think probably you're going to be pulled chest, high larynx. Watch those videos and do those exercises for that vocal type, and that's going to start helping. Charlotte says, Camanio says, thank you for being here. Charlotte Nichols, hi Charlotte. When belting high notes, is that in mixed voice? It depends on what you mean by belt. If the belt is just kind of a yelled up high pulled chest, no. If there's some kind of a mix going, in other words, maybe the larynx is high, but they're still, it's still a blend of chest and head. They're not in falsetto and so forth. It could be just what you would call maybe a high larynx mix. So an example would be if I said, hi, ma, 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 with a little bit of a open vowel and so forth. It's not straight chest, and but it's not necessarily an ideal mix because I'm spreading my vowel a little bit, but I'm hitting it pretty hard, and so that would just be termed like a high larynx head voice or high larynx mix, which a lot of belt is, I think, a high larynx with an open vowel. Miguel says, thank you so much, Chuck. I will work on my first bridge then. Yeah, Miguel, that's the key. Charlotte says, how can I tell the difference between head voice and mixed voice? Well, Charlotte, begin by just discerning the difference, what it feels like when you're at the A, B flat, B, and the C above middle C, and work with that first, in the C sharp. Work with those four notes and start to feel that, the difference between that and like the G5. So get to know your voice here. And here, or here. Start to study the difference in how it feels and how it sounds, and you'll start to feel the difference. There's an element of bottom in it that's going to be present in your voice. Um, the difference between falsetto and head voice is this. I'll answer that question right now. If I were in head voice, mom, 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 it's an this is head voice. I can blend, my head voice will blend into my chest. But if I'm in falsetto, I have to flip, I have to crack back into chest. So falsetto does not blend into chest voice. What's the difference between? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. So that's the difference between head voice, and one's a connected tone, head voice. Falsetto is a disconnected tone. The tone's cracked or flipped into falsetto. I often have to repeat myself when speaking. I think it's because of my deep voice. I speak at B2. Any tips on how to project your voice? Yeah, I haven't. I would say, again, has to do with breathing, but I would want to, when I project, I have to think about standing up straight, good posture, drop my tummy, and pull my tummy in when I'm speaking, and get a little bit of added. That's called support in some circles. It gives you a little bit added compression on the chords and gives you a little bit ability to speak out. It's also a habit, so you got to kind of rethink that. But awareness is the first step. Be aware of it, and then speak up. Use that low breath. Pull your tummy in when you speak, and that's going to help, and also help your singing. Matthew Barrett. Matthew, nice to have you here today. Thanks for joining us. I narrow a lot and am too darn controlling. I do the exercises fine, but when singing, I'm also a bit heavy. Yeah, so Matt, again, awareness is the important thing. So try not to over narrow, and say with singing is a bit heavy. Don't do it as loud. So soften your practice. Don't practice as loud, and I think that's going to help the heaviness. Miguel says falsetto has breathiness in it, and it's very light. Head voice is powerful, connected sound. Yeah. Ivan, one more question. Can bass or baritone sing whistle notes? I think so. I mean, I can make a whistle note. I don't sing them. I guess that's the question. Can you sing whistle notes? I don't know. I guess I have never heard a bass or baritone actually sing a whistle note. I've heard them demonstrate it and kind of play it, it's kind of interesting, but I haven't ever heard anybody, a bass or baritone, sing with it. Kamanao says head voice is connected and will blend with chest voice. Falsetto's not. Right on the money. LeQuack, always great to be here. Thanks, LeQuack. Charlotte, it's hard to sing high notes in mixed voice. Is it hard to sing high notes in mixed voice? I see Broadway singers clench when they hit high notes. Probably because they're pulling a little bit or belting it up. But so your mix, as you're going through the bridge, Charlotte, you just keep the same coordination, the same feeling as you go through the bridge into your head voice. And so, I don't change anything. So in that light, it's not that hard to vocalize. The hard part is when you have all the different words, there's more open vowels and different pitches and so forth. That's the hard part of staying in that mix, as was asked earlier today. And so that's a challenging part of this. If it were really easy, everybody would do it, and they do it, go home and do it tonight. How can I increase vocal agility? Do the exercises, David, for your vocal type is the first step. Get the bridging down, so that way you're not limited by the bridge, and so you can get up into your head voice easily. That's job one. And when you've got that, then let's get together again. Thanks, you guys. We've been here on an hour and 20 minutes. But this is kind of a very big topic, really important discussion. Great questions, great comments. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing. And this is Power to Sing Live. You can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. And understanding and being able to do mix is a key. See you inside the next video. Thanks.